A lot of innocent lives were lost that day, but what we have just learned does point towards more and more failings by the Israeli military. I mean, how do you read this latest assessment about what happened at the Nova Music Festival?
Well, this report is the first official confirmation, so to speak, of what, in fact, publications like ours, the Electronic Intifada, have been reporting for weeks. On October 15th, we published a report with a full translation of an interview by an Israeli woman called Yasmin Porat, who was a survivor of the violence at Kibbutz Be'eri, and she had been at this Nova Music Festival with her partner, and she told Israel's public broadcaster Kan that she and her partner escaped from the music festival when they heard the rockets coming over, and they went to Kibbutz Be'eri, where they were held by Palestinians, but she said they were treated very humanely and kept for hours, and the Palestinians didn't lay a finger on them and said that all they wanted to do was exchange them for Palestinian prisoners. And according to Yasmin Porat, she said the Israeli security forces came in and started shooting and shelled the houses in the kibbutz, killing a lot of the people. That's what she told Israel Radio. The shocking thing here is not the revelation in Haaretz today, but how this has been ignored for so long since October 7th by the mainstream media. But today's Haaretz report is real vindication of the reporting that independent outlets like ours have been doing for weeks.
How do you think this is likely to play out domestically for Benjamin Netanyahu? He's under a tremendous amount of pressure to get the release of the captives sorted and solved, and now further confirmation of failings, profound failings by the Israeli military.
Well, I'll be frank, I'm less concerned about what it means for Benjamin Netanyahu and more concerned for what this means for the Palestinian victims of the American-backed genocide that is going on in Gaza right now, because remember that the atrocity propaganda disseminated by Israel after October 7th of Hamas going, and Netanyahu even said, he made a claim that at this music festival, the Hamas fighters rounded people up in a ditch and machine gunned them into a ditch. That never happened because Israel has presented no evidence of that whatsoever. But this story and the other fake stories like 40 beheaded Jewish babies and the fake story of Palestinians putting an Israeli baby into an oven were used to incite both the Israeli public and the international public to support a genocide against the people of Gaza. So it's very important that the truth come out so that people can see. Of course, there's never a justification for genocide. There's never a justification for the atrocities that Israel is perpetrating in Gaza. But it's important that people see how much deception there has been on the part of Israel. Of course, Al Jazeera has been reporting in recent days.
Sure, I think it's important to remind our viewers that, of course, we can't at this stage independently verify any of this right now. But let me ask you this: if the Israeli military have mistakenly killed their own civilians, what should we read into their capabilities within Gaza? We've seen over the past week them hit hospitals, and now this devastating double attack on schools in the Gaza Strip.
Well, I don't think we should mix the two issues, because Israel's attacks on the hospitals of Gaza are not mistaken. They're deliberate. Israel has declared that it views all the hospitals in Gaza as legitimate targets with its James Bond fantasy stories of bunkers underneath the hospitals. So far, it hasn't produced any evidence of that. And what I'm saying is that Al Jazeera, among other broadcasters, has reported in recent days on all the lies told by Israel about the hospitals to justify its atrocities against patients and displaced people and doctors. And people need to understand that if Israel is lying about the hospitals, as Al Jazeera and others are reporting that it has also been lying about October 7th since the start. And you say we can't independently verify any of this, but has Al Jazeera reported on what Kibbutz Be'eri survivor Yasmin Porat told Israeli radio on October 15th about how the Israelis came in and shot everyone in the kibbutz and fired tank shells at the house that she was in with Palestinian civilians, with Palestinian fighters and with Israeli civilians killing everyone inside. It's time we start to actually unravel this.
Ali Abu Nima, we accept there is a tremendous amount yet to be known, yet to be investigated. I reiterate, we cannot at this stage independently verify these things. Obviously, a lot of innocent lives